session we will be learning about cash interval ratio. So cash interval ratio is also a type of liquidity ratio. Okay, liquidity or short-term solvency means ability of the business to pay its short-term liabilities. Okay, ability of business to pay short-term liabilities. Okay, so we are measuring the ability of the business to pay its short-term liability in liquidity ratios. So we had seen current ratio, then we had seen quick ratio or acid test ratio. Okay, now we will be seeing cash interval ratio. Okay, so what is a cash interval ratio? Okay, the cash ratio or cash, it is also known as a cash ratio. Okay, so cash ratio measures absolute liquidity of the firm. Okay, so it measures absolute, so it is more conservative as compared to your current ratio and a quick ratio. So what is a cash ratio? Cash ratio is equal to cash plus marketable security, okay, divided by your current liabilities. Okay, so as you can see, the numerator of cash ratio is cash plus marketable security. That is, marketable securities means the security or the investments which can be readily sold in the market at any point of time. Okay, so it is absolutely liquid. The numerator is absolutely liquid. Now here cash means your cash plus bank balance also. Okay, this is cash in hand plus cash at bank also. Okay, so divide by your current liabilities, that is your short term liabilities, okay, which needs to be paid within the period of 1 year. So how liquid is your firm to cover your short term or current liabilities? Okay, that is what the cash ratio states. Fine. So if you compare it with current ratio or acid test ratio, it is more conservative. Okay, it shows more liquidity, absolute liquidity of the firm. That is, if say at the current point of time I want to pay off all my current liabilities, will I be able to do that? Okay, in next say couple of hours or 3-4 hours. So how much cash do I have? How much marketable securities do I have? How much can I get from them when I sell it? And how much current liabilities I can pay off using this? Okay, so that is what is shown by your cash ratio. Now let's see one example, okay, and calculate a cash ratio. So calculate cash ratio and analyze the same. Particulars company A, company B. So we have sundry debtors 1 lakh and then company B 50,000, inventories 2 lakh and company B 1,50,000, cash and bank balances 3 lakhs, company B is 50,000, creditors for purchases 1 lakh, company B is also 1 lakh, outstanding expenses 50,000, company B is also 50,000, bank overdraft company is 25,000, company B is 50,000, and their current ratio and quick ratio or acid test ratio is given. Okay, so if you see for company A, your current ratio and quick ratio is quite higher. Okay, and for company B it's less. Okay, now let's test what is a cash ratio. So cash ratio is equal to cash plus marketable securities divided by your current liabilities. Okay, so for company A, your cash ratios, cash and bank balances is how much? 3 lakhs. Marketable security is nothing, so 0. Divide by your current liabilities. So how much is current liabilities? you have creditors for purchases 1 lakh, outstanding expenses 50,000, and bank overdraft 25,000. So 1 lakh plus 50,000 plus 25,000. So let's see how much does it come to. So that comes to 3 lakh divided by 1,75,000. So it is 1.71. Okay. Now for company B, okay, cash plus marketable security. So cash is 50,000 plus marketable security 0 divided by its current liabilities. Creditors for purchases 1 lakh, outstanding expenses 50,000, bank overdraft 50,000. 1 lakh plus 50,000 plus 50,000. So that comes to 50,000 divided by 2 lakhs. Right? So it comes to 0.25. Okay. Now if you see for company A, okay, their current ratio is also higher, that is 3.42. Okay. Now their quick ratio or acid test ratio is lower as compared to their current ratio, because in case of acid test ratio you consider only quick liabilities, okay, and quick assets. Now if you see this cash ratio is 1.71, so it is sufficiently higher. So say if today the company wants to pay off all its current liabilities, it can do so. It has 3 lakh rupees cash and the total of liabilities is 1,75,000. So it can easily pay off its current liabilities. Okay, because its cash ratio is quite higher, that is 1.71. Okay. Now what company A can do is it need not keep so much of cash. Okay, so it can think of reinvesting it in the long term funds. Okay. Now let's see what is position of company B. Okay, their current ratio is low, 1.25. Okay, then their quick ratio or acid test ratio is even less than 1. Okay, so your total of your quick assets is not equal to your current liabilities or quick liabilities. Okay, as the case may be. Okay, the acid test ratio is calculated in 2 ways. So it is given in the, you can see it in the video of acid test ratio. Okay, there is a detailed working of the 2 various ways of calculating a acid test ratio. Now for company B, their cash ratio is very low, 0.25, that is, it is less than 1. So say if today the company B wants to pay off its liabilities, it won't be able to pay off, right? The cash available is only 50,000, whereas the liabilities are 2 lakh rupees. Okay, so it has to make some arrangement to increase its cash and bank balances, or it needs to invest some of its fund in readily available marketable securities which can be sold on the spot, and the cash can be recovered from that marketable securities. Okay, so this is how you can analyze the liquidity position of the company. One thing to remember is when you analyze a liquidity position, you should not consider only one ratio. Okay, so there are different types of liquidity ratio, like current ratio, acid test ratio, cash ratio. Then there is one more ratio known as interval measure, which we'll be seeing later. So all these ratios put together, you need to analyze what is the position of a particular firm, company, or an organization. Okay, and then you have to compare it with the industry standard. What is industry standard? The industry standard means the standard ratios that are maintained by the similar organizations in the industries. Okay, so accordingly you can compare it, and then you can analyze it, and you can find out what is the ideal liquidity position for your company, firm, or organization. So this was about the cash ratio. Thank you.